Welcome back. Victory, victory finally after a three-game skid. Eagles blanked the Raiders 31 to nothing. Oh, what say you? What do you think about that win, man?
Regardless of it's to say just the Raiders, I thought it was impressive for many reasons. For one, defense doing what they do, man. Always playing lights out football lately, man. I thought the play call was very stellar. Just seeing, the motion, more, just the creativity seemed like it was more there this game. Like just I thought it was actually leap bounds ahead, just like getting better like little bit like getting better little by a week. It was more so like it felt like it just hit us like wow, this play calling's really good, you know what I mean? And I really like how like when the guy was in motion and then they hand the ball to Saquon. Just the little pitches to Dallas Goedert I thought were very creative. Hurts shutting the haters up, man. Yeah, I think he was like 12 for 15 for 154 yards, and I think it was like three touchdowns. Um, his passer rating I think was like 154 or like his quarterback rating or something like that. It was pretty high, but just overall great victory, and hopefully it's something they can build off of, man. And just get back in the winning column. It just feels good, man.
I agree. I can't echo your sentiments enough. I really liked what they did offensively. Patullo looked like he was a lot more creative and with the play calling, especially with the motion. The two passes to Goddard in the red zone. The just having motion, it just makes so much more of a difference. It takes a little bit of the pressure off of Saquon, and then the big pass to AJ Brown up the seam. Now listen, these are the Raiders. We knew what this was coming into this game. They were a 2-11 team for a reason. I obviously am a fan of the Raiders whenever
Yeah,
they're not playing the Eagles, and so I know them very well. Offensively, even if Geno Smith was in the game, we weren't doing anything. Our leading receiver is Kenny Pickett. No disrespect, but he's not, at least here, the same player he was in Seattle. And Brock Bowers, he's doing it by himself. He's like Tony Gonzalez in the Chiefs offense in the early 2000s
hmm
without a quarterback. And all he has is Ashton Genty. That's it. So
yeah,
we have some pieces, but we can't block for anything. That's why we had about 15 million sacks in this game.
right.
And I think that people should just look at what the Eagles did in a vacuum and not get caught up in the fact that they did it against the Raiders. I just really thought that the way that they had the play calling, the way they schemed it up in this game, obviously different teams call for different matchups, but I feel as though if they had this level of um of depth in terms of their play calling, they would have had a lot more success in I would say at least two of the losses that they had in the prior game. So that's my take on it.
Right. Yeah, yeah, very good. Yeah, man, I'm just really excited for, just to come, man, because I just think they can truly build off this. I mean, I think BG had two sacks too. It was good to see him getting back in there and, look like he's starting to produce a little bit.
Right.
So, but yeah, man, I just really think moving forward, I think they can just build off this and get better. I need to see it more consistently though before I can fully say I'm sold. You know what I mean?
I'm right there with you. And if there's one play that I think sums up what can be and what we hope will be moving forward is one of the deep crossers to Dallas Goddard. And pre-snap, Jalen Hurts motioned Goddard to go from the left side of the offensive formation to the right side, and then snap the ball, and Goddard got a chance to run his deep crosser, and he went right. I don't know if they played the zone on that play. I'm not gonna. I didn't get a chance to go back and look at the exact defensive coverage, the shell they were
Yeah.
playing, but he got right in the intermediate part of the field, about 15 yards downfield, wide open. And to me, not only did the motion help you, but it allowed you to get a better sense of whether it's going to be man or zone. It gets you a chance to get the defense off balance, especially if they have certain assignments based off of man coverage. You know, some guys
Mhm.
they may be inexperienced, they might get it confused when a guy crosses to the other side of the field and it can create confusion for the defense. Not always, but more often than
Yeah.
not. So these little things, hopefully, that is a beacon of things to come because I really
Yeah.
like the design, the thought process, and the execution of that whole play call.
hmm Yeah, I absolutely agree.
I mean, Dallas Goedert, he had 6 catches for 70 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a lot of his yardage didn't come off of those 2 touchdown passes. It was really some of those deep crosser, and I think another one he had. I mean, he was really active. Devontae, 2 catches, 50 yards. AJ Brown, that that nice post right in the breadbasket, man. You can't place the ball any better than that, and that has
No.
nothing to do with the defenders can't make Jalen place that ball the way he did, so he could
hmm
catch it in stride. Didn't even miss a beat. Was able to bobble the ball and still catch it. That's how accurate the pass was. The timing was really good on that play. That's a team that's a matchup where you're supposed to get back on track. And if they didn't get back on track against the Raiders, and I think we mentioned this last episode, then you know you have a serious problem. You're supposed to beat the Raiders 31 nothing, 40 nothing, 40 to 3. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Any team, outside of Cleveland or some of the really putrid offenses, you're supposed to do that. So that's a great sign. So great sign, and Dallas ended up losing. I mean, JJ McCarthy coming out looking crazy. So, it was a great week all around, all around.
Yeah, man. It's December, man. So you know what it is with Dallas, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how many episodes ago we said this, but you know the motto, as Stephen A. Smith so eloquently states every time we get to this point of the year, just be patient. Let it happen. Let it happen. You know they're going to be here. Yo, Scooter Magruder, I was just watching this video. It was hilarious because it's not a skit at this point. It's his life.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, they fold just like the clothes I folded straight out the laundry, bro. That they're just not meant for December and January. It's just the way it is, man. And we can take advantage of this now, go into this coming Saturday and beat the Commanders, and we clinch. We're in there.
Right.
So you give yourself an opportunity. And I honestly think this conference is wide open, man. I truly think at this point of the year, anybody can beat anybody. Like, I don't think there's really a team I'm looking at. I can say all the top teams right now we're looking at, we have beat. So it's not like we can't go in there and make some noise, you know what I mean? It's not completely out of the picture just because we've looked bad during this course of the year doesn't mean we can't get in there. Like, I truly think this is still a Super Bowl opportunity. I'm not trying to get too far ahead of myself, but it's not out of the realm of possibility, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, just to piggyback off your point and to wrap up the Eagles talk, Zoom, go back to it might have been 2002 or 2003. I don't know which year it was, but we started the year like 0-2 or 0-3. And at that time, the odds of actually getting back to the playoffs, let alone getting to an NFC Championship game, were very low, like historically. And
Yeah.
somehow Andy Reid and that bunch, they were able to turn it around. So like that's because they had the talent. They were doing some things execution wise, not getting things done. In this time, we're doing some things execution wise, but it was mostly coaching. Those are simple tweaks, like we mentioned with motion, as one of
Yeah.
many simple tweaks they could make. Um, and if they show that over the course of the next 2 games, 3 games, that this is who they really are play calling, then it gives me a lot more confidence that they actually are going to turn the corner because they
Yeah.
have the talent to be able to capitalize upon it. They're a Super Bowl caliber team. Then you're going to get Lane Johnson coming back healthy. You're going to get Jalen Carter coming back healthy from surgery. And then hopefully if you are able to clinch now, depending on the playoff bracketing, then you can get a chance to rest guys like Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson and really be healthy going into the playoffs. And now you're a completely different team.
hmm Yeah, 100%, man. Makes a huge difference when you get those key pieces back healthy, man, because the line's been banged up like almost all year, and that's a huge reason to why the Eagles are so good. It all starts in the trenches, man, and you get a guy like Lane Johnson back, it just changes things completely.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this was a great win for the Eagles, and we're still, like you said, in great place to position ourselves going into the playoffs if we can clinch the division in terms of the playoff seeding. So let us know what you think about this Eagles win over this Raiders team, what things you took out of it, and what do you think this Eagles team is going to do moving forward. And with that being said, I want to shift over to boxing because I haven't got a chance to talk about it a lot on my own. This is a question for you as like more of a casual boxing fan.
Right.
There's a huge difference between the UFC and boxing in that the UFC only has one belt at each division that the
Yeah.
champions fight for, and boxing has four recognized sanctioning bodies as the four major bodies. So in order to become undisputed in boxing, you have to get all four belts as opposed to one with
Right.
MMA fighters. And recently, Terence Crawford was stripped of the WBC belt. So there's a
Right.
WBO, the WBA, the WBC, and the IBF. And the
Yeah.
WBC is the one that took his title away because
Mm.
he refused to pay the sanctioning fees. So what a lot of fans don't know is when they win the belts, the fighters, they have to pay fees to the sanctioning bodies for said belts. And
hmm
Terence Crawford's gripe was that the WBC was asking for significantly more money than the other organizations did for their belt. So he's saying,
hmm
what makes you so special? Like these are arbitrary numbers, for example. Why am I paying $60,000 to the other three bodies a piece for their belt, but you're charging me $200,000? Why are you so much better than them? Like
Right.
explain that. Right? And
Right.
that was his argument. It's like you think that you're big shit. You think that
Yeah.
you're like, and then secondly, from my vantage point, back in the day when Muhammad Ali and a lot of the greats of those eras fought, they didn't have multiple belts. They just had one title. Like you fought
Yeah.
for one belt. You didn't have to get, you didn't have three belts, and then you were fighting for the fourth belt like it was an Infinity Stone, like Thanos. No, you just got one belt, and when you beat the guy, that was it. And Terence Crawford's other argument was that the Ring magazine, the one that Turki Al Sheikh bought, and a lot of some casuals seen this magazine when they walk into like a Barnes and Noble. Some people don't, but the Ring magazine they usually have a picture of like the boxer of the month or whatever on the front of it, and it'll say the Ring
Right.
magazine. The Ring magazine belt that was the original belt, the lineal title. The lineal title was what it used to be like when Ali won the title from Sonny Liston. He won the lineal title. That was
hmm
considered the champ. So although I think these other belts I think that these organizations are good in terms of giving exposure to other fighters that otherwise wouldn't get it if they didn't have the belt. I think
hmm
that sometimes too much gets made out of the belts. I don't think that the belt makes the fighter. I think that the fighters make the belt, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that the
100%.
organizations need to have more respect for the champions because them taking away the belt from him for not paying the fees doesn't take away the fact that he's the undisputed champion in our minds. Like we all saw what he did in the fight against Canelo. Like nothing's ever going to change that. So I don't
Right.
really get the point of um taking the belt away if it's true that you're charging way more money than the other sanctioning bodies. Like, do you think that you're super special? Like your shit don't stink and they're mere mortals and you're the WBC, like this grandiose
Right.
organization. I just find that a little baffling.
It is. I agree. Because it's like, I think it's pure thievery, honestly, for him to be stripped of the belt like that, and then for them to charge that much more, like, regardless of the numbers, it's like, it's it's just baffling, man. Like, because Terrence Crawford is such a unique talent. He's just grown so much over the years, man. For him like that to be taken away from him, I think it's kind of disrespectful and just, it's all about the money nowadays, man. But still, like, regardless, yeah, he will always be that champion in our head.
Yeah, and Oscar De La Hoya put out a video on social media saying that Terence Crawford was being arrogant and disrespectful, and he's like in essence like turning his back on his roots. Like, oh, like you think that you're bigger than the belts, you think that you're bigger than boxing now. It's and I'm listening to it and I'm saying how? Like he had to get this the hard way. Nobody gave him anything. If anything, everybody avoided him when everybody else had the belts and he wanted a shot. They say, "Oh, go get a belt." And then he go get
Yeah,
a belt and then they find some other excuse not to fight him.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and uh, and to be there's some people will reference, oh well, Bob Arum said that they're losing money on Terence Crawford every fight because they're paying him big money and they're not able to get names that are big enough to draw in the numbers. So like they're losing
Mhm.
money, but like that's not Terence Crawford's fault. From my knowledge, he wasn't actively avoiding the best fighters. He was trying to get the best fighters, and they just were trying to dip and shuck and jive around him. And
Yeah,
he got it the hard way. So if anything, the fact that people avoided him made it so much more difficult to get that recognition because nobody wanted to give him those belts, as opposed to there being one guy. And if there was one guy at 135 and they said you got to fight Terence Crawford or that's it, there would be no other choice. He wouldn't be able to, you know, get this belt and then vacate and then go get another belt and do all this like shucking and jiving. No, you have to face the guy. So uh, I some fighters they're allowed to keep their belts despite being inactive, like the
hmm
like a Charlo brother or like
yeah,
Canelo Alvarez, like by the
hmm
WBC. But then with other
hmm
fighters, there's no preferential treatment. So like the hypocrisy, you have to start calling out the hypocrisy. Like, how dare you try to call Terence Crawford hypocritical when you guys have preferential treatment and nepotism for your own in-house fighters or fighters that you have an affinity for. Canelo
right,
Alvarez is like the easiest one to pick out because he's been the WBC's golden goose for well over a decade now, regardless of what weight class he's been at, whether it's been 154, 160, or 168.
yeah,
So it's like Mauricio Suleiman. Why don't you have the same standards for him as you have for Terence Crawford? Why don't you have the same standards for Canelo Alvarez as you're going to have for David Benavidez? So,
right,
so when if David Benavidez pops positive for cocaine, I'm not saying that he should have done it. Well, why does he get dinged hard, whereas Canelo Alvarez pop positive for a PED, and
hmm
to my knowledge, he didn't get his title stripped, unless I'm misremembering. And even if he did, they certainly didn't frown upon him moving forward. They might have given him a little slap on the wrist and said, "Okay, let's pretend like we actually did something to him, so people won't will get their pound of flesh and move on."
right,
Right? So it's just like it's similar to what we see in football at times. It's like, why do the Chiefs get all these calls, but other teams like the Bills don't get the same calls?
yeah, 100%.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think below. And this is a perfect segue to end off with the Sixers, who lost the game last night. There was a clear backcourt violation. I
Hmm
forgot who inbounded the ball, but VJ Edgecombe was all over him and fouled him before he crossed over. But that foul didn't get called. The foul that got called happened in the backcourt. But last time I
hmm
checked, if you inbound the ball in your side of the court and you go to the back court, right? Doesn't that mean you turn the fucking ball over?
Yeah,
How does the referee miss that?
that's wow.
It's like with all the point shaving controversy, how can you have this happen? It just looks like, oh, well, they're cheating. It's like it don't get any more obvious than that. That was crazy. I don't know if I've quite seen something like that.
Yeah, that's wild to me, man. The fact that wasn't called, it's like, what is the other team doing? Like, I don't know. That's sketchy stuff right there, man.
it was a 3 or 4 point game. That really it might have even been a 2 point game. It was
Yeah.
such a close game, and it, that could have been a game decider.
Yeah, 100%, man. When you have something like that in the game that should be called and it's not, it's it almost like it ruins the game. Like, I don't know. Like now 100%, let's just you got to make those calls, man. Especially when they're that blatantly obvious. It just makes it look bad.
Yeah, there's really no way to even give the referee the benefit of the doubt because it's a rule. It's not even like it was a foul and it was subjective, like maybe he grazed the guy's arm or no, he caught the ball inbounds on his side of the court, right? I always get front
Hmm.
and back court mixed up, but whatever. His side of the court and ran backwards across half court the opposite way, which under any circumstances is a turnover.
Yeah, for sure.
If he caught it back there, that would be different, but he
Yeah,
didn't.
right.
So it's like, what are we
That
doing?
yeah, I mean that sounds like one of the worst calls of like I mean, I haven't watched much of basketball lately, but that sounds like a call might be like one of the worst like missed calls of the year. Like that's just blatantly bad. Like I don't know how you missed that.
I mean, listen, the ratings for the NBA have been down. I forgot the number, but it is a very significant percentage over the past 5 to 10 years. They're losing a lot
Yeah.
of viewership. And
Yeah.
you have shit like this. We're not the only team that this happens to, but it's things like this that make people tune out of a game that's already not really that fun to watch. It's like come down the court, step behind the 3 point line, a dribble, step back, and then chuck up a three, and then run back down the other end of the court. Like it's like they don't play defense, they don't slash to the basket. They allow you to kind of have your hand vertical as you carry the ball, so like you can get away with palming, like and do shit that you couldn't do before. You can take the steps are different in terms of what is considered a travel and what is not. Like it's already too easy to play, and then guys are just coming down court and just chucking up threes. Like it's just like what are we paying money for?
Yeah, it's bad, man, because it's almost like that's what see, this is what makes me mad when people try to compare like player to player. I'm just like, okay, I understand Michael Jordan's a better, obviously a better, he's the best player of all time, in my opinion, is the debate. But when you try and compare him to LeBron James, it's like, how would LeBron James play defense in Michael Jordan's time? So it's almost like to me, they're good for their time. And because I guarantee in this league today, Michael Jordan would be out of his mind. He would be just but by the way the game. I think it's a freaking cupcake league at this point, man. It's embarrassing, especially those missed calls, man. They got to be called.
Yeah, yeah. And that's a great point too. Like the skill level there we still have a lot of phenomenal athletes in this day and age, but the
We do.
skill level and attention to detail is so much lower because I was watching a video last night that was talking about what basketball was like in the 60s and 70s. And this video did a phenomenal job of breaking down the rules and why players played the way that they did in that time era. And he made a very good point of trying to compare players from this era to players of the past under this game's rules, the modern rules, is not fair, and it's you're arguing in bad faith because they were playing at a time where you had a completely different rule set, which is why they played a very different game. A lot of the things that I just mentioned, like some of the you see guys taking 3, 4, and 5 steps at times nowadays. Like
Yeah.
they sometimes they plant with the wrong leg coming down the court because they know they're going to have an extra step. So they know that I wouldn't say cheating, but like you're playing within the framework of the current rules. And a
Mm.
lot of the things they do nowadays, they would get called flat, whistle, 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 travel, travel, travel. Like you wouldn't get away with half of the things you get away with today. Along with don't let them bring back hand checking. Like you could forget all
Yeah.
that So now that I know that you can't drive to the lane, now you're not going to get the same space for those step back threes. It just completely changes what you can do. So it's like, even with football, basketball, and even hockey to a certain extent, they try to water down those games so much to the point that it's not even the original game anymore. So it's like, what is even the point now? It's like
Yeah.
we can't even breathe on a wide receiver in
Mhm.
football. Yeah, they're putting up 40 points a game. Man, they're setting records left and right. Yeah, because you rigged the game. Like that's not anything to be proud of. Like okay, like you rigged the game for people that have no context since they didn't see the old game and all they know is this new game. Then they think that all this high scoring is what it's always been, and these people in the past just always sucked. It's like no, dude. If you had the same
Mhm.
moves you had before, you wouldn't even have all these jailbreak offenses in football and basketball the way you do now. It would actually require different tactics, different levels of skill. Guys would
Right.
think differently, blah blah blah. So, um, and what's funny to me is, what's funny with me, and this is like going off on a tangent with the whole like LeBron James and Michael Jordan debate is I didn't even grow up watching Jordan. I grew up watching Iverson and Kobe, and then that bled into LeBron James. Like I spent most of my teenage years and adulthood looking at LeBron James play basketball, and I
Mhm.
all I had to do was take like 5 to 10 minutes of looking at Michael Jordan clips. And I'm like, yeah, it's like it's not even close. Like what the fuck are y'all even looking at? He's
Yeah.
and people take that as if you're saying that he's not as great as Jordan or greater, that you're saying that he's horrible. Like there's no in between. Like people have like this absolutist mindset. No, like he's a great player. Like he's going to be a great
Yeah.
historical player. But people, a lot of people don't realize is 20 years from now, people will be looking back at Paul George and LeBron James and say, "Oh yeah, they were cool, but like they were like mailmen. They didn't play against any competition. Like they're not gonna remember the Kelly Oubre's and the Ja Morant's. Ja Morant, we know him now, but people are gonna look at him 20 years from now and say, "Oh yeah, that dude that used to jump high." Like they're not gonna remember him, right?
Yeah.
It's funny how we only have our own frame of reference, and I'm talking to like the new kids and including the people of my generation. Like you have to look outside of your own bubble and actually see what the world was before you were here to really have an appreciation of where you're at.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's just living in ignorance, man. Like even even when I was in college, I saw like one or two clips of Larry Bird, and I was just like, I didn't even know he was like that. I'm like, oh, this dude's like that. I don't.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, he's really like that. Like I didn't
Yeah,
have
man.
to sit there and be like, oh, he ain't like Kevin Durant. He's not like Iverson because these are my favorite players. Like, like just like think objectively and take your emotions out of it.
Yeah, I mean, Larry Bird said what he was gonna do to you and did it. Like he was like that, man.
Yeah, facts, facts. So hopefully the Sixers can get some better calls. I'm probably what? I'm actually looking forward to the Sixers game against the Mavericks. Is at 7 o'clock on Saturday after the Eagles game.
Mhm.
So hopefully the Eagles clinch on Saturday, and then we get to see a really good matchup between the Sixers and the Mavs because I think the Sixers and B, mind you, and B put up 39 points the other night. When he's on one, I'm telling you, this team can make a run if they're able to gel this year and make it to the playoffs with a good seating in the playoff bracket.
Mhm.
And Paul George, I mean, shit, go look. Paul George had a crazy shot 1 or 2 teams ago. They just limit their minutes, keep them healthy for the playoffs, and it can at the very least be exciting, man.
Yeah, 100%, man. I would love to see that considering the way these past couple years have played out. I want to see a deeper playoff run, damn it. Like just the conference finals, shit, even the finals, man. I need to see a championship before I die, bro. Like,
Absolutely. With that being said, that's the end of our podcast. Go catch you on the next one. Go Sixers, go Birds. Deuces.